So Peter Sulu was with me. So when we got home and saw the empty cases, he was crying.
You are devastated.
So I asked him not to cry, not to worry. Then I have my hobby then was photographing. I have one camera that will be take two. We went out, we used some, started drinking, and by then I can now go to beer parlour and drink because I already am on money then. And by then I was using by then I had bought a car. I bought a brand new car in 1976, which I was using. I bought it in so when we got, I asked Connor not to worry. Then from there, the next day I take stock and discover that all the goods I have is 9,000 something, and I was owing 58,000 something. My business is 58,000 something, and everything I have was just 9,000 something. So I just took stock. I handed over that goods of 9,000 something to somebody who was leaving to me. Then I took my bag and leave the business. Then a lot of friends came to my aid. The first is Paul Ifeme from Ezinif Tagwata. Then other of my friends from Ishi. They give me some money. Paul Ifeme give me 16,500 naira. Then Bachukwu Group give me 15,000, and my friend from Ezo give me give me 6,500.
Was that a loan or freely given to you?
Well, it's not a loan, but a loan. So I took the money and went back to overseas and started the business with it. And that's where I am. That 9,000 something is a very big shop in Nnewi today. But whatever you found around me is unborrowed. It's relationship. But that remain. I didn't touch. I have not touched it today. And the only thing I have gotten out of it till today is a carton of champagne. I still have a wonderful relationship with the store, but it's only a carton of champagne is what I've gotten from that business. Whatever you found around me is grace of God. Then we now have thought of going into industry and started with diapers, Babymate diapers.
How was the company founded? What was how did you start the company? Is it a family business?
The Ngobros and Company Nigerian Limited, what was in vogue when we had to start business is something brothers, something sons. So we copy what was in vogue.
Well, it was personal. It wasn't.
It's yes.
Okay, it was just the name that sounded family-like.
Yes, but equally, I won't go into that, but equally somehow some members of my family joined the company. Some members of my family joined. We are invited and they joined the company. So that's how Ngobros come up. Just when I was to leave my master, what was on folk, these brothers, these sons, then I'm Gonad. So now become Ngonade. So Ngobros comes from Gonade brother. That's how it started. So from there, God bring us to where we are. We are now doing Babymate diapers. We are now doing recycling of waste papers. We recycle waste paper. The paper that would have been burned or thrown in to cover the gutter, we gather them and recycle them, and they become useful. That's what we do.
You're adding to the environment. You're saving the environment.
Yes.
That's nice. So we heard about that you were like one of the influencers of the Hako Rico brand. Can you tell us a bit about that?
That's the motorcycle pass you had we deal with them. Then Hako come into effect because I was representing a Taiwanese company and shipped goods to Nigeria. First, it started with Rico. That Rico is an existing name in Taiwan then. So we took that. But when we are having some challenges over them, we feel they may stop us using that name. And I choose to go. Hako is H. And my name is Humphrey Ayedorobi. So Hako is Humphrey Ayedorobi Company. That's Hako. So I now change that name to Humphrey Ayedorobi Company. That's how Hako come into effect. And Rico is known. So I now call it Hako Rico. Now the same thing. If you hear our advice, then you say whether na Hako or na Rico. Now the same thing there inside. And Obuawa and myself was the early people. Obuawa actually started advert, and I followed him. Only both of us, we are early people that we are advertising, and my advert very serious effect because there is these two, what do they call it, that dance, and the jingle then Hako, high quality motorcycle scrappers, Natanda, get here for. So, and the name becomes so popular and so familiar. And with that, what do you call those things they make that dance? They wear Hako would plug and be dancing, and a lot of keys. Like it, once that jingle comes up, everybody in the house we begin to dance, and we also do wrestling then. So every Tuesday, 7:30, our program is on TV. So it makes our goods very popular. And it was seen as original because except when the imitation took over our product remained that high quality. Even when people we are buying from China, we don't buy, we still buy high quality from Taiwan. We have good name in motorcycle spare parts until we left it and come into this.
So coming into this now, you said as of now, your company produces Babymate diapers. They are into recycling. So are there any other services you offer apart from that? And is there like hope for future diversification for other products?
Yes.
Or partnerships?
Before now, I don't know I will start Babymate diapers. And when we go into Babymate diapers, I don't know we'll go into recycling. Now we are in recycling. We are still looking for another thing we will do. So, human being is searchless and endless. So we continue whatever we can do to help the society. I'm interested in getting people employed. Majorly why I go into the industry, it's not necessarily looking for money. But when I see how people were ruling the street and so on, I feel I can contribute in giving them job.
So you bring them in
and by the grace of God answered my prayer. I have a lot of people, because I remember when I went to a friend then and asked that my friend, let him think about doing industry. That is good when people were praying, that they will be praying for him. Because when you now get money and begin to build houses, you are doing a good thing because you are sheltering people. But you're enemy to those people you are sheltering. I told my friend, I said, when you build houses and give to people and become become landlord, this house, this house, this house, this house. Then when the time for them to be paid is coming and possibly the person doesn't have money, he say, God, give me money. Make I pay this wicked man before it will come to do this or that. But when you have an industry, the person will be praying, God, please let this business prosper so that at the end of the month he will pay me. So the prayer now, our Father who art in heaven, he now pray, give us this day our daily bread. He's talking from the source of his daily bread.
Yes.
So I told a friend, build industry so that when people are praying, they will pray for your prosperity. But if you have buildings here and there, you become a wicked man, because the man who lives in your house, who you shelter, see you as a wicked person because he's paying you rentage. Yes. But if you are paying him salary, you see you as, thank God for this man. If he's not him, me and my family will not be eating. So you become a good man. I used to advise, and that was one of the things that pushed me into industry. Instead of people bringing money to me, I can now be paying them, and indirectly they're bringing the money.
That is life.
Indirectly, those people you pay bring the money. It's the money they make that you pay them from it, but they're wishing you good, wishing the company good, because they receive their pay from it. So that's part of the thing that pushed me to looking for a way to get people employed.
So as a manufacturer, how do you source your materials? Do you get it locally, or?
We get some locally, we import some. And I'll tell you, 90% of industries in this country still import one thing or another. So there are still things we import, and there's those we get from here. So not all is being imported, not all is being getting here.
And that's electricity, bad roads. How has the company been thriving on a daily basis? How do you run the company?
It's part of our major program, because now we buy diesel at 900 naira per liter, and you don't have electricity to work with. Either you shut down, or all the profit you make, even part of your capital, goes into diesel. We work, you believe that we can work from morning till night, that whatever at the end of the day, if you do a good calculation of what you did and add the salary for that day, you may be running at loss. But the profit you would have made has gone into this. Except something is done. A lot of industries are shut down, and many will still shut down. A lot has shut down, and many will still shut down, more especially in the southeast here. More especially in the southeast here. So we are passing through a hell. To be an industrialist, we are passing through hell. To a point I was nearly to regret, but did not, because I believe that God is leading me into what I'm doing. And anything that God is doing, sometimes you meet some unpleasant area of it. Otherwise, with what our industries are suffering in Nigeria today, more especially in the south, is more especially in Anambra, is unbearable.
Okay, so talking about competitors in the market, like, there's this flood of foreign products in the market. How have you been able to sell your products to the local markets, to the international market? And then do you have a particular market you're controlling? Maybe in the southeast, the national level, or the international level?
Yes, it's when this administration came in, and instability took over the country. Before then, our product dominated Lagos market. In fact, there was a time we are number one in Lagos market. Until when the economy got too bad, We can't get the raw materials we are buying from outside. And to a point, we stopped production for some time. And after that, since then, we are struggling to find our feet in the market again. So it has not been easy with custom and the rest of the agents allowing fake product and less quality product. Nigeria is a kind of dumping ground for a lot of inferior goods. A lot of inferior goods have been brought into this town. Take for instance diapers. Our diapers, if you use our diapers, though it's little costlier than the other ones in the market, but the mother don't need more than one for a night, except the child pass two. If he's urinating, one is enough. But you go and get all these things they import from China and Korea.
It's so easily.
You will use 2 or 3 before morning. You use 2 or 3. Now, the NAFDAC has not stopped them. But instead, it's the industries that they will all come around and give one condition or other. In fact, I will tell you, most of the government agencies are shutting down Nigerian industries. And those inferior goods that are being imported into the country, nobody checkmate them. Nobody checkmate those inferior goods
So what are
that brought into the country, but they have get to Onitsha market and found numerous inferior diapers that nobody checkmate. But they will keep on extracting money from Nigerian industries, keeping this condition, despite the fact that we have very high quality material in the market. One can get to our market and test. We are not boasting about it, but we are saying the truth.
So, so far, since the start of the company till now, have you gotten any incentives or grants, maybe from the government or from private bodies, just to support this industry?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, talking about your position as the chairman of SEXIMA, as the Southeast Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines, and Agriculture, how has it been so far? How has your experience been?
Well, I thank God. I started as the president of Nnewi Chamber of Commerce, and by the grace of God, while I was still in seat as the president of Nnewi Chamber of Commerce, they made me the president of Association of Anambra Chamber of Commerce. While I was there, I was made the president of Southeast Chamber of Commerce, which I turned down. For over 2 years, I refused to take up that seat because I feel that the burden or the load is enormous, that I will not take it at that particular time. In as much as some people need it, but they feel I should be the one to do it. But after that, I accepted it, and Chamber of Commerce is an organized private sector. It's you don't have any personal gain. It's speaking for the people, protecting businesses. It's an umbrella that businesses, private sectors gathered on, this kind of advocate. But in the Southeast, we have a serious challenge that the governments of Southeast did not recognize organized private sector. The governments of the Southeast do not recognize organized private sector. They don't work with organized private sector. They work with the market heads who they input and use as a remote. The market leaders were the people the government choose to throughout Southeast. The market leaders they now put into office and use them to achieve whatever goal they want to.
Their own benefits.
But Chamber of Commerce supposed to be an advocate when government come up with some of the policies. They need to say, government, this thing you are doing is not favorable, and nobody like who correct, who say you. And whenever, even you know that whenever somebody tells you that this thing you want to do is not good, you will not like the person anymore.
Yes.
But Chamber supposed to work with the government, even when some policies are being made for the organized private sector. You're supposed to get them involved and feel their pulse over some of the things you want to do.
Yes.
Because some of the things that is happening, everybody is crying.
Okay, so
But if Chamber of Commerce has been involved in some of the policies, the government will still get what they want, but in a better platform.
So, what about your positions in Basima and Nawab? How have you been handling?
Well, Nawab is the women department of Nasima. I'm a national vice president of Nigerian Association of Chamber of Commerce, Nasima. I'm a national vice president. And the national vice president is supposed to be in 2 terms. I've served the first term. I'm in my second tenure that will come to the end by May. So I'm national vice president for now 3 years plus. And I'm supposed to be a national vice president for a period of 2 years and another 2 years. 2 years, after 2 years, you may be choosing for another 2 years, you may be dropped. But fortunately, I have served 2 years and I was choosing for another 2 years, which I'm serving my last tenure as national vice president.
I think we need to give a lot of kudos to you, because it's not easy handling all these positions and still smoothly running your company. It's not easy at all.
It's God, it's not me.
So,
All the credit, praises, whatever thing goes to God. It's not me.
that's great. So let's come down to your family life, your personal family as your nuclear family. Tell us about your wife, your children, your grandchildren.
Well, I don't know what I will say about it, but I believe that others will say more about my family than myself. But if you ask me, I will say I have the best wife and the best children.
So your wife, is she also a native of me?
Yes, her family is not far from my family. So I have the best wife. I'm now married for 40 something years, about 40. I'm married for about 45 or 46 years.
Wow, that's a whole lot.
But no human being on earth, including my children, who said that they have found me and my wife quarreling. Even that does not mean we don't misunderstand each other.
This is true couple goals.
That does not mean that we don't misunderstand ourselves. We misunderstand ourselves and settle within ourselves that none of our children has ever any day discovered that there is disagreement between me and my wife. Likewise, my children, I've been very close to all of them. They're all married and adults. They still respect me as their father. Up till today, where I say, stop, go, you will go. So I have a very nice family. I would say the best I can find in the world.
So how many children will you be blessed with?
By the grace of God, we are three. So we started with myself, my wife, and God gave us three children, not minding that I actually wanted to.
There was need for an extra.
I pray God for a boy and a girl. I never wanted more than two. But eventually, we have three.
Sir, your son, Obinna Bonadi, is the current commissioner for industry in Anambra State. So, how do you think he can help to improve the plight of industrialists in Anambra?
I think he's doing his best, to the best of my knowledge, because but he has one of the best training, and living his training, because he studied abroad, was here and there. He spent 60-70% of his days in Nigeria, and the rest stayed in UK until he became the commissioner. And when he was made commissioner, I wasn't afraid of what he will do, because I know he has a good training, and I trusted he will do well. Because after his university, when he went to do his youth service in the Nedlaw Shipping Company, he was one of the best that be with Nedlaw Shipping Company. In fact, after his youth service, they wanted to employ him.
That's quite impressive.
Yes, after the youth service, suppose he wanted to continue, they wanted to employ him without applying. But because he wanted to further his study, he did not accept the appointment.
When you say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so he's starting from his dad.
And went to continue his study. So I believe also working under a kind of governor he has, nothing will stop him doing well.
I'm appreciative for him. Sister, finally, we would like you to give advise the young entrepreneurs that are coming up, those that want to diversify into maybe industry or their own personal business or whatsoever. So, what will you tell them? How they should start and the consistency of their business and all that?
I can only give advice that Rome was not built in a day. Those who think that money falls from heaven is not true. I think only once in life that some people has waked up and found food in their domot. And God did it only once and will not do it again. That was when manna fall from heaven for the people of Israel. And after that, after God created the world, he gathered everything needed. Everything that man needs, and put them at the Garden of Eden. Now took Adam and Eve into the Garden of Eden, but God used a word. He said, walk. If God has wanted people to begin to get manna fall from heaven and money come without hard work, he would have not asked them to work if he has given them everything. But God said, work for it. So I advise the youth that comes out from school, don't, if you look for job and you don't get job, sit down and think of what to do. Instead of looking for who will employ you, get something doing and get somebody employed. There are so many things you can lay hand. You can lay hand in fishery, agriculture. Multi-millionaires overseas are farmers. Our people say, Akajaja duonu manu manu. The hand that touch soil gather the food for the mouth. So find some, be dedicated, choose one thing, be committed to it, doing it. Even if it seems it's not working, continue, it will work. God is there to help you. There's so many things you can lay hand on. And also when you go to school, while in school, begin to think the area you will choose so that you will be of use to yourself when you come out of school.
And also to the society.
Yes. You start from yourself, because immediately you are valuable for yourself, then you become to another. So, I discourage those who carry fire looking for jobs. Find something and put your hand in it and start doing it. Then God will see you through that. You know, a lot of people that has made it are the people who come out, instead of going around looking for job, they started something small. There are so many things you can start with. Go to some of the overseas, go to overseas. It's only here when you want to build an industry, you begin to look for acres of land to build an industry. There are certain things you can do in a room. There are so many things you can do from your room and can still take up the market with it.
So thank you very much, sir. I was so thrilled to have had you on the program for today. And we thank you so much for your time and for sharing your experiences with us. I'm very grateful, sir.
Thank you very much.
Here is where we come to the end of today's program of Instant Voices. All we ask is that you follow us on all our social media platforms and don't forget to always like and comment. We are looking forward to you connecting with us at all times. Thank you so much for staying with us. Keep watching Another TV and